Hey guys, Slapdeck here and welcome back to another tank review. This time, I will be reviewing the T110E3. So the T110E3 is a tier 10 American tank destroyer. It has some of the heaviest frontal armor in the game, and it has 155 millimeters to absolutely devastate its enemies. Now, the mobility of this tank, it's good, but it's not bad. I'm gonna settle on that. It's not good, but it's definitely not bad. I will show you some gameplay, but before we get into any gameplay, I'm gonna share the specs of this tank. So this behemoth has 1900 hit points and has 305 millimeters of frontal armor, 76 on the side, and 38 at the rear. So as you can see, this tank is definitely very vulnerable if it gets flanked. Now, the top speed of this tank is 24 kilometers, so it's not bad, but it's not good. The track traverse is 24 degrees per second, so it's better than the Jagdpanzer, but it doesn't even compete with the object, and it's 30 degrees of track traverse per second. So yeah, it's mobile, but then again, it's not very mobile. It's sort of in the middle of the Jagdpanzer E100 and the object. Now, the standard shell penetration is 221 and 369, so it definitely is a very large caliber gun. Now, the premium shells do 280 to 470 millimeters of penetration. So as you can see, you can pretty much pen anything if you use gold shells. Unfortunately, I don't have any gold, so I can't. But you know, that's probably a good thing. So let us go ahead and get into the armor profile and the armor penetration profile of this tank. Alright, so now we have a look at the collision profile of this tank. So as you can see, it is very, very well armored indeed at the front. Now on the side, not so much. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. So we have 305 millimeters at the front. As you can see, as we talked about before, 305 millimeters on the gun mantle. Behind that, behind that we have 203 millimeters, and behind that we have 229. So very, very unlikely chance you're gonna penetrate that. So don't ever aim at the front or anything like that. So yeah. Now on the sort of beak of this tank, on the front, we have 305 millimeters again. And on the upper hull, we have 152 millimeters and 152 millimeters on the lower plate. So yes, you can't aim. Don't aim at this though. Don't try to shoot that because it is very well angled. So yeah, it's probably gonna have an auto ricochet. So as you can see, it's a very well armored tank. Now, if we go onto the side, now that's where it gets pretty weak. As you can see, 152 millimeters on the side. And if we remove the tracks, we can see that it has 76 millimeters of armor on the side. And if we look even lower, we have 44 millimeters. So as you can see, it's very weak indeed. Now on the rear, let's put the tracks back, there we go. Now on the rear, we have 38 millimeters, so as you can see, very weak indeed. Now on the upper, on the little, I don't know what you call that, 76 millimeters right here, and on the lower plate, we have 32, which is also visible, so it can be penetrated by pretty much any tank in the game, so it's very vulnerable on the lower plate. So yeah, now, this part up here, we have the little machine gun port, 229 millimeters. Now you can't penetrate that unless you're using gold, or you hit this little top part, which is very unlikely because you would have to have a very, very accurate gun. Now, one huge weak spot that some people miss, which we're going to go into the armor penetration profile of this tank. As you can see, it is very, very, very hard to penetrate. Now, if it gets held down, then you aim at this top part right here. It is very weak up there. Now, as you can see, every single other place you're going to ricochet unless you hit this little spot right there. It has a little viewport which you can hit. It's 75 millimeters flat, just flat, and 100% chance you're going to penetrate it. So that's what you're going to need to aim for. Unfortunately, it is very tricky to hit and very small, so that's one of the problems with trying to take out the T110E3's weak spot. So yeah, if it gets into a hold down position, first of all, don't let it do that in the first place. Second of all, if you can't do anything else, then go for the top part. That is a very weak part. Now, if it's aiming down and it's held down, then there's a very small chance you'll be able to penetrate. But if you're looking down at it, it's very easy. You can just hit that. Yep, very easy. So yeah, it's a well armored tank, I must say. It's very nice. Now, usually what I do sometimes is I angle my tank like this right here. Usually when I'm just trying to hold the line. and move back and forth, and they'll hesitate to hit your lower plate or your tracks or anything like that. So yeah, it usually works. Just go back and forth and angle your tank like this, and that is your key to holding the line forever until you get overrun. So yeah, while you're reloading, angle it like this and move back and forth. That is the best possible way I have found. So yeah, very well armored tank, very nice. Now let us get into some gameplay. Alright, so here we are on Copperfield. We are taking on a very, very, very skilled enemy team. As we can see, Red Lobster is on the enemy team. A very, very skilled player with his platoon mate, who's probably very, very skilled and experienced. So we are up against two very, very dangerous players, very dangerous and experienced players. So how are we going to take them? Well, as we can see here, we have master of holding the line, the T110E3, which is probably the perfect tank in this situation. So as we can see, the medium tanks, I hope, would come over here just to help us out, because they obviously won't have anybody over there. But as you can see on the minimap, they're just going to camp in the corner of the map, which is great. No, it's not great. And oh gosh, here they come, and no way, they have just destroyed my cover, which is what you go hold down in. And they just completely wrecked it. And oh gosh, they're all here, and there goes the T-44 just now, running straight across like a little guy. And there's two IS-7s, so I take a shot at one and set him on fire. Very nice. So we've torched him, as you can see. And oh gosh, here he comes. So we're going to angle our armor. We're losing a bit of momentum here, and yes, he penetrates us. So the reason that didn't work was because we had no going momentum. We weren't fast enough, so he was able to aim at us. So now we're just bouncing just a ton of shots. And I'm hoping I can save this object, but then I back up a bit too much, and they're able to put a shot into him. So I'm not interested in this ST1 here. I'm interested in one of the IS-7s. So I take a shot at one, angle my armor again, and as you can see, we are going, we're angling it too well, and we're moving at the same time, which just makes it just so hard to actually even penetrate. So we take a shot at him. Unfortunately, we low roll, and we don't take him out fully. Bounce another shot, and so now Red Lobster is a bit frustrated, so he starts to move in. I'm hoping to ram him to death, and oh thank goodness, T-75 takes him. So now the T-95 just took a shot at us, but no worries, because we have a ton of health. Take that ST-1 out, and now we're going for that T-95, who just took a shot at our side. Now, as you can see, our medium tanks are still camping, which is not very good, but it's okay because we just took out two of the most dangerous players on the enemy team. Now we just took out the T-95, as you can see there, and hoping that E-100 goes. Okay, there we go. So now the E-100 is down. Now I'm not interested in this T-44. He's not even worth my time. And there goes the IS-3, spamming heat, or HE. And you'll be experiencing that a lot, people spamming HE. And it's pretty annoying, but you'll have to get used to it. So I'm hoping to track this guy, but he's still using HE, and he still tracked me. So yeah, that's great. So I'm gonna no-scope this loser. Boom, he's gone. And honestly, right here, I'm a bit worried about the T-44. And unfortunately, our guy still isn't camping in the corner of the map, so he can't take him. So yeah, that's great. So now, honestly, I'm actually worried right here, because he's probably gonna just like escape and force a draw or whatever. But no, because the Panther 2 takes him out. So that was a very successful game, and I'm very surprised we won that, actually, because we had like two medium tanks camping and two very well experienced players. So as you can see, we did almost 5,000 damage, and now Red Lobster wants to invite me to a platoon. So yeah, as you can see, very successful game. Okay, so me and Red Lobster are in our T110E3s, and we're hopefully going to try to win this one, because as you can see, there are lots of medium tanks, so this might not be so good after all. So just trying to make our way up the hill, try to use the T110E3's okay mobility. I'm not going to say anything because I have a feeling some people are going to argue about it, saying that if it's good or not good. And oh boy, here comes the E50E. Here comes the E50M, T62A, and the E50. So that E50 can't, there's nothing much he can do. In fact, I think he makes the right decision by not dying and saving his health. So that E50 obviously doesn't want to go because he sees us, and me and Red Lobster and I coming up. So we're gonna try to hopefully take out the IS-7 as quick as possible. So Red Lobster puts a good shot to his lower plate, and I do the same. So as you can see, two T110E3s is just devastating, especially if they work together. So we're trying to target this IS-7. Red Lobster puts another great shot to his lower plate, and I put the final touch, put the final last blow to the IS-7. So we're getting tracked here, which is not good, and by that T-32, and I'm going to try to take out the troublemaker here. So I'm going to go ahead and aim for the T-32. Unfortunately, the accuracy of this gun is not good at all, so that one went straight to the rock, and he tracks me again. So yeah, I'm getting a bit frustrated here as a Red Lobster, I'm sure. So Red Lobster's trading health with this E50. So I'm gonna put a good shot to the Tiger, and oh boy, here comes the E50. I'm putting shots, and Red Lobster dies. So my platoon mate dies, and we've got an E50M on my left, and I'm getting shot on my right. So what do I do here? Well, I'm obviously going to finish off someone. So I think the best thing to do here would be to call for backup and hopefully get yourself out of the situation. So he takes out my loader, which is not good. So I put him back in the fight, and he takes out my ammunition back. So that's great. So we've used up all our medic kits and stuff like that. So it looks like there isn't anyone because the E50 was just taken out. So we're going to go ahead and maybe go for it. Oh, no. IS-8's over there. Alright, let's go. So it looks like he's not paying attention to me. So I've had enough with this E50M. So I'm going to take him out, hopefully, because he's just done too much. Okay, so basically. So we try to come up on this guy. Unfortunately, he's a medium tank, so he's pretty quick. And is able to easily outrun the T110E3. So he dives off the cliff, which he gives us a great advantage point to snipe, which he was kind of foolish to do so, because now he's given us a great shot at this T-62A. We take him out, and now we've got the rear of the Z-50, and we're just going to try to take out the T-95. So T-95 was out of the trouble, and in more trouble. So I'm going to shoot at the C-50M's side of his turret, and yes, we have taken most of them out, and it looks like we have won. So that's great. That's very great. So there's still an IS-8 and a Tiger 2 left. So I'm wondering, the last time the IS-8 was spotted, he was way back there. So I'm gonna go over there, hopefully, and maybe try to catch him. And there he is. So the E-50 spotted him. So we're gonna go ahead and race over towards him, and hopefully catch him and do a little bit of damage before the game ends. So in the C-50, we're just trying to catch him here, and it's pretty much nothing more than a cleanup, just taking people out for that are pretty easier on the run, and put a good shot into his engine deck there. Bounces his shot as we angle our armor. Try to dive off of this cliff, and oh no, we have tracked ourselves. That's great. We just tracked ourselves in the process of going down that hill. So take him out before that E-50 does, thankfully. So we get the kill. So I'm thinking that Tiger 2 will be over here, but no, he's over there. So we're going to go ahead and turn around, but I don't think we're going to get him. And the T-95 takes him out, I think. Yes, T-95 takes him out. So that was a pretty successful game, if I do say so myself. So yeah, that was a pretty successful game. Let's see how much damage we did. We got around 1,000 experience and did over 3,000 damage. So that was a very successful game. So now on to the next replay. Alright guys, so this will be the last replay of the video. Alright, so we are in Winter Malinovka, and we are hopefully going to try to win this one. As you can see, they have an extra tier 10 than us. That's an M48 patent, so I can already see that the flank will collapse by lots of medium tanks, so we're gonna have to try to rush over and take the IS-7 out, and probably some others that will be over there, but I know that the flank will collapse. So we're gonna try to get over there as quick as possible before we get flanked. Now it looks like these other guys are probably gonna go with me. Alright, so as you can see, the mobility of the tank is it's pretty bad, actually. We're trying to struggle to get up this hill. Although once you think about it, the T110E3 is almost kind of a more mobile T95. If you think about it, just think about it. It might not look the same, but once you think about it, it's just a more mobile T95. All right, so the M48 pattern is pushing us. Seems like nobody wants to go and defend the flank, so we're all just gonna go this way, which is probably a good thing to all go and take out the weak spot and then turn around and then just obliterate the flank. It's probably a better idea, rather than just to go in 2 groups. Alright, so the T-54 spotted, so it's just a little scouting. So, oh, here comes the I-7. So I-7's in a great position, so we're gonna try to get him out as quick as possible. There's an IS-8. Alright, so what we need to do here is we need to take over the top and then quickly turn around. So we have to deal with these guys as quick as possible. So this is kind of a tricky situation. We have an IS-7 and a T-54. This is interesting. Alright, so we're going to have to deal with these guys pretty quickly and then turn around. Alright, so the IS-7 has good shots on me. And oh boy, IS-7 is going to shoot at me. So we are in a very tricky situation and we're locked down here. So I just need to go ahead and take a hit. But unfortunately, I'm going to go for this T-54, unfortunately for him. I would rather take out the T-54 because he poses more of a threat than the IS-7 to me. So I'm going to try to put another shot into this IS-7. Unfortunately, he hides behind the rock. So I'm going to just completely flat out go for this guy. So I take him out, quickly turn around, try to bounce a shot from him. He does not take a shot at me because he cannot find where to hit me. And as you can see, he is just struggling to look for a spot. And oh boy, he puts a shot to my lower plates and just hits my ammo rack. So repair that. And we do not want him to get in a held down situation. So I'm gonna go ahead and take out this IS-8. Take another shot at him. And here comes the IS-7. And doesn't look like the flank's doing so well. So we need to hurry up and deal with this IS-7 and this IS-8. So I'm gonna go ahead and just quickly take him out as quick as possible because I need to help the flank. So it looks like these guys are putting on pretty low health. Aim and take him out. Unfortunately, don't take him out fully, and there we go. IS-7 out. So I'm just gonna turn around here instead of go for the IS-8 because I need to help out these guys. So I'm gonna quickly turn around. And yep, it's collapsing, so we need to get over there very quickly. And hopefully they're going to take out the IS-8. That's sometimes something you need to do is rely on your team and hopefully let them take care of some people. So, save that Yak Tiger. Unfortunately, Yak Tiger dies from a T-32, which is great. So, it doesn't look like they're handling that IS-8 very well, and one of the guys dies. So, to me, the M48 pattern is way more important than the T-32. So I try to put as many shots into him as I can before the M48 pattern takes him out. And the M48 pattern, our M48 pattern takes out the IS-8. So I'm going to try to predict this T-32's moves. Doesn't look like he's going anywhere anytime soon, so I'm going to try to back up on this rock. And he tracks me. I don't have repair kits, and that kind of stinks. Unfortunately, this guy doesn't seem too experienced. So we're going to try to get up on this rock as quickly as possible and use it to our advantage and come straight around and take him out. Alright, so now we're going to try to back up and help this M48 pattern. And that pretty much is the game and the review. So, and take him out. Alright, so guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed this review. This has taken me a while, so please give it a thumbs up. And yeah, so thanks for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed, guys, and I'll see you guys in my next video. See you guys.